jumped over the lazy brown dog. That is our mic check. Got 10 minutes till Derby. Welcome to the Madhouse. We've got 7 minutes till Derby. Welcome everyone to the Madhouse. We'd like to welcome Foxtails from Fontana, California to Salem, Oregon, home of the Cherry City Cherry Blossoms. At this time, Brake Check and I, Smacchiavelli, would like to acknowledge the land. We are gathered here on the land of the Kalapuya, where we are represented today, or who are represented today by the Confederated Tribes of the Grand Ronde and the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz Indians, whose relationship with this land continues to this day. We offer gratitude for the land itself, for those who have stewarded it for generations, and for the opportunity to practice, skate, and share this great sport on this land. Finally, we respectfully acknowledge and honor past, present, and future Indigenous individuals of the Willamette Valley. We also want to give a shout out to the Confederated Tribes of the Siletz. The Grand Ronde Tribal Council has been generous supporters, funding the startup of our rental gear program for juniors. It's a little afternoon. If you need an afternoon snack, go visit our snack cart, our food truck cart. So cheesy. You're frying up some delicious bacon this morning. And visit our junior snack table at the front of the arena where you enter. They have tasty treats and soft drinks.
right, to start off, coming from Fontana, California, here is your Foxtails roster. Number 05, Agent C. Number 1001, Girl Plower. Number 1005, Bones. Number 107, Tiny Terror. Number 1217, Wheels. Number 144, Penny Rebel. Number 16, Betty Bop. Number 177, Hellcat. Number 182, Speedy Smash. Number 19, The Freak. Number 33, Maniac Marls. Number 369, Shatter. Number 555, Turbo Tank. Number 698, Bad Mama Gemma. Number 702, Sticks and Stones. Number 8, PETA. Number 811, Choso. Number 91, Trippin'. Number 911, Betty Rage. Number 928, Moxie. Your coaches for the Foxtails are Mess Craven, Mr. Justin, and Wreck It Ref. Give it up for the Foxtails.
And your home team in white, the Cherry City Cherry Blossoms. Our lineup starts off with 00 Miscreant, 003 Payback, 019 Lot of Pain, 03 Collateral Damage, lucky number 13 Tragedy Ann, number 18 Intoxicate, 210 Chemical X, 218 Jules Byrne, number 22 Nano Rolls, number 29 TK Oda, number 3 Ferris Wheels, number 408 Madam Gemini, number 505 Off the Brails, number 506 everyone could use a midnight smack, number 729 Oliver Twisted, 888 Risky Gamble, and number 99 Nazgul. Coaching for the Blossoms today, we have CJ Crusher, Mini Mart, and Little Trouble. There you have it, your Blossoms.
All right, number 29. TK Oda lining up for the Blossoms, and number 19, The Freak, lining up for the Foxtails.
All right, number 19, The Freak, going to start us off for the Foxtails.
Little strategy huddle coming out of the Blossoms. They're at the top of the track, discussing the first jam of the game, which can often be one of the most important.
We also want to shout out to the officials before we get started. Our head of NSO today for this bout is Flip. Supporting Flip both on and off skates, we've got Dr. Boom, Speed Racer, Rump, Skirt Cobain, Pinky, Q, Big Eye Bry, Punky Bruiser,
Arson Crafts, Whamdolph, Rolla Crayola, Slade Marion, Titan, Uni, Unholy Roller, and Radar. Give it up for our wonderful officials team.
That whistle means we're starting Derby.
Both jammers poised for this first jam. Bit of an offensive attempt from the Blossoms, sliding through on that inside line, opening up a gap for TK Oda to make some space, but it's not enough to stop the Freak. Oh, I guess I might have been wrong. The Freak picks up lead, but is recycled to the back of the pack. Wastes no time getting that space back and is now on the initial pass, properly followed by Dakota, closing that gap as fast as possible, trying to cut off those points before they happen. Freak enters the pack, deflected by Blossom's defense. 2 points for the Foxtails, 3 for the Blossoms. Some excellent speed from TK Oda, catching up to that Foxtails jammer.
We've got 0-5 Agency rolling for the Foxtails, and number 3 Ferris Wheels out for Blossoms.
Seeing an interesting defensive strategy here from the Foxtails, bridging their wall over the length of the track, leaving behind the standard 3-wall formation for something a little wider. We see Ferris Wheels cutting straight through that defense, picking up lead for the Blossoms, coming into another scoring pass. Agency still fighting through the swath of Blossoms blockers, keeping them from that initial Blossoms pivot, not once but twice deflecting Agency on that inside line, as Ferris picks up 4 points for the Blossoms, coming in for another scoring pass and sliding through like there was nothing in his way, picking up an additional 4 points, putting 11 on the jam. And Agency is through on initial pass with a skip and a hop on the inside line.
Ferris Wheels pushed out of bounds, calling the end of that jam after picking up 11 points. We've got number 16 popping out for Foxtails, Betty Bach, and number 22, Nano Rolls for Blossoms.
Nano Rolls entering the center of that pack, trying to break through that Foxtails defense with help from a coordinated offensive attempt from the Blossoms, following behind a couple of their skaters, taking that space and using it to move up the track, pushing Foxtails blockers forward. Hit on that outside. Offensive attempt hits out the blocker that hit out Nano Rolls, allowing them to re-enter the track without having to recycle to the back of the pack. And that Foxtails wall is being pushed out far into the front of the pack, with Blossom's defense steadily holding Betty Bop in the back. Betty is looking for any gap possible to break through that defense. Nano Rolls doing the same, juking around, using that agility to try and throw off the blocker's intuition. One Blossom's pivot to the box. Betty Bop brought down on that outside line, manages to make it through on a no pass. The blocker that hit them out also went out, re-entering for a scoring pass. And slides through with no resistance. 4 points to the Foxtails. And Blossom's defense gets split apart, but rebounds quickly. One lone Blossoms blocker attempting to hold Betty Bop, but it is not enough to stop another 4 points going to the Foxtails. Betty Bop re-enters, goes down on, and the jam is off.
Time for an official timeout. So how has your day been going today? Break check.
It's been going pretty good. This is my third and last game I'm announcing for this day of the tournament. Had one back on Friday. And the action throughout this entire event has been really entertaining. The skaters have been bringing their all.
Yes, Tiny Tyke and I were announcing the first game, and early in the morning we had some very peppy skating going on. I think everyone had a good night's sleep last night.
You know, I could never. The early morning games were always the hardest for me. But, you know, I do respect the energy. Bringing that high energy vibe to the track can really mean the difference in your team's performance. A lot of mentality that goes into this game. Still sitting through an official timeout here. Take this moment to give a quick shout out to Traveling Wheels. Did you in the audience, know you can skate right here in the Madhouse? Join Traveling Wheels with a Z on Friday nights for their open skate events from 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Check out travelingwheelswithaz.com for more information. And be sure to ask about their birthday packages. This is not on our sponsor sheet, but for any adults out there, Traveling Wheels also offers occasional 18-plus nights where you can skate with fellow adult friends without having to worry about some of the younger folks.
Glad to see more people out here today at the Madhouse.
Thank you for your support in being here, both supporting these teams and the league and the sport as a whole. Every one of you helps this sport stay alive.
Nothing quite like watching Derby live.
One of the most exciting one of the most exciting types of sports events I've been to, even at this age.
It is a beautiful day today in sunny Salem, Oregon. Sunday, May 24th. Our pollen count is still 107.
Wow, that is, you know, I am feeling it, I have to say. And I'm sure the same goes for a lot of our audience members out there.
Most of that pollen count is from grass seed.
Interesting, I never knew that. I guess I always assumed most pollen was from the flowers. Blossoms were looking to challenge a directional call that was called at the end of the last jam. If they are victorious, that penalty will be revoked.
Actually, our grass pollen count today in Salem, Oregon is 667, and the tree pollen count is 45. This information brought to us today by Catman, who is operating our live feed. So for those of you who are online watching the game live, put a note in the comment and thank Catman for being on it.
All right, I was wrong before. The Blossoms were actually trying to restore a directional call, trying to award it to a player that they believe should have gotten called. And the Blossoms will be awarded this directional. So an additional player from the Foxtails will begin this next jam in the box.
We've got a close game this afternoon with Foxtails at 12, Blossoms 14. Great start to our fourth bout of the day.
Yeah, the action in this game has been very fun to watch. The jammers have been very equally matched, which I think makes for the best games in the sport, as many. These teams are, at this point, going to have to... The goal here should be the team to read the other one faster. At this point in the game, learning the other guy's strategy is paramount. And 1-0-0-5 Bones makes it out on that inside line, picking up lead for the Foxtails with Payback getting recycled. That is a call on payback. Jammer for the Blossoms, putting the Foxtails in a power situation. 2 Foxtails blockers still in the box. This is going to be a tough moment here for the Blossoms, but they managed to hold their point lead. Never mind.
It was risky gamble and miscreant holding back that line there.
Some strong blockers, but it was not enough to prevent an upset in the score. Foxtails are now in the lead with 15 to the Blossoms 14. Still a 1-point difference. We've seen a lot of high point gap games, so this is quite a refreshing experience. Number 15, the Freak, lined up for the Foxtails. Payback still in the box for the Blossoms, so it is a power start. Some really coordinated for the Foxtails, brings the Freak through on that inside line, picking up lead once again, already re-entering to that scoring pass, deflected by Jules Burns at the back. The pack locked into the Blossoms defense as the Foxtails try to play offense. A little roll on the inside, and they manage to. That is a cut call called on the Freak, putting the Blossoms in a power jam situation with Payback as the jammer hit out on that outside line. As the Blossoms try to prevent a full recycle, they managed to get back up in the middle of the pack. Moving to that outside, almost hit out, but they managed to stay in, continuing to fight that Foxtails wall, slowly moving them to the inside.
Assist there by Collateral Damage, break up that wall. Payback finding an opening.
Yeah, some incredible O there, spearheaded by Collateral Damage, with 2 other blockers from the Blossoms sweeping the Foxtails wall forward. The Freak is now re-entered the pack.
Freak straight into Nazgul. Nazgul putting up a fight.
Yeah, there are some sharp hits in this jam. That's 4 points to the Freak, which I feel like I'm being a little mean whenever I say that name. I know it's their derby name, but. And another 4 points. Foxtails defense collapsing under the pressure of Payback, trying to make up for some ground. They take a little bit of a tumble.
Payback trying to make their way around Speedy Smash. And 144 Petty Rebel.
And an impact on Payback sends them out on that inside line for a full recycle. Another 4 points to the Freak, putting us at 16 for the Foxtails to 0-4 for the Blossoms. 31-18. Higher score gap, but still a close game. Number 29 TKO to lining up for the Blossoms. Number 05 Agent C jamming for the Foxtails. And that is a timeout. Official timeout.
All right, break check. Do you know why the city of Salem is also known as the Cherry City?
Can I take a guess?
Absolutely.
From what I heard, we have a sister city in Japan, and there was some sort of exchange that involved cherry blossoms, if I'm incorrect.
That is a good guess, and we did obtain our cherry blossom trees in our capital mall from our sister city in Japan. However, Salem has been known as the industrial canning area for cherry growers, as well as for cherry growers in the late 19th and early 20th century.
Interesting.
We are now in cherry season. That was a great time to start picking up some cherries.
Yeah, you know, I have my own tree back in the front yard. I haven't seen any blooming, which makes me a little worried, but I'm on the lookout.
I think you're right. I think it's still a few more weeks out.
Well, I will be waiting patiently because I do love myself a good cherry harvest. 1 Foxtails blocker starting this jam in the box. I think I said 3 Foxtails to 4 Blossoms.
So the team Foxtails are up from Fontana, California. Do you know how far away Fontana, California is from Salem, Oregon?
I don't think I could give it a guess. Directions and any navigation is about my worst skill.
Fontana, California is 964 miles south of Salem, Oregon.
Wow, so a long road trip for these skaters. TKOda out with a blast. Picking up lead for the Blossoms. And even faster, it seems, Agent C entering that initial pass. TKOda re-entering the pack on that scoring. Fighting with that last pivot. Picking up that full 4 for the Blossoms. 0 for Foxtails, putting us at a 9-point gap, 31-22. Nine points. That is one good jam away from an upset.
We had 10-0-5 Bones jamming for Foxtails and 0-3 Ferris Wheels out for the Blossoms.
And a quick offensive attempt from Payback, knocking out one of the, looks like there will be a penalty awarded to that Blossoms pivot. Ferris Wheels hit out on that outside line, manages to take that outside line once again and make the pass, picking up lead for the Blossoms. Rocketing toward that next scoring pass with Bones also exiting on the initial. Ferris Wheels swipes around that first blocker, calling off the jam. Three points scored for the Blossoms, 31-25, a 6-point gap. TKOda joining us once again for the Blossoms, and the Freak jamming for the Foxtails. Once again, we see this interesting defensive strategy from the Foxtails. A full-length track wall. There will be an official timeout called. We're seeing TKOda join the Blossoms for a small strategy huddle on the track. A lot of communication that goes into these team plays. Very much a team sport and requires constant communication between teammates. The Freak pushing up Blossom's defense, breaking apart both their wall and the Blossoms, both jammers making a fair amount of distance. The Freak caught in the back by a slowly crumbling Blossoms wall. TKOda manages to make it out through that last Foxtails pivot, picking up lead pass for the Blossoms, rocketing toward that next scoring pass, with the Freaks still caught up in the back line of Blossom's defense, almost managing to slide through on the outside line. Dakota goes down and is fully recycled. He's not going to let that keep him from rejoining the action. Down on the inside line, recycled by Foxtails pivot. Little bit of offensive attempt. And the jam is called off. 4 points to the Blossoms, 31-29, just a 2-point gap, and we are back to a hairline game.
So, slight correction. We'll get to the correction after this bout. Bruce Wayne has his hand up, and now we're in jam number 9.
Ferris Wheels spinning around that last Foxtails blocker, picking up lead. The lateral work and footwork on this jammer has been really impressive to watch, as well as the speed at which he skates while controlling these complex maneuvers. And with another spin, Agency is through on the initial pass as Ferris Wheels fights to get those last few points, calls it off, pick it up. 4 points for the Blossoms, 31-33, and another upset puts the Blossoms back in the lead. Number 003 payback lineup for the Blossoms. Number 107.
Tiny Terror.
Tiny Terror lined up for the Foxtails. And some effective O there from Jules Burns on the Blossoms, letting Payback pick up that lead pass. But Tiny Terror is close in pursuit. Payback enters the pack with an impact, followed closely by Tiny Terror. 1 point to the Foxtails. 2 points to the Blossoms, 32-35. Ferris wheels lined up for the Blossoms. 1 Foxtails pivot in the box, and 811 Choso lined up for the Foxtails. Inside line is swept fully open by 888. Risky gamble on the Blossoms, giving Ferris perfect opportunity to pick up lead, and another inside line is open wide up for another 4 points to the Blossoms, putting them at 39. Ferris wheels zooming around that track at maximum velocity. Choso has entered initial pass for the Foxtails. Blossoms jammer, Ferris wheels skating through and calling it off on 1 foot, picking up that last 4 points. 43 points for the Blossoms, 32 for the Foxtails. And a timeout has been called.
During this timeout, I'll get back to that slight correction earlier. So, for clarification, the cherry blossom trees on the Capitol Mall were not a direct gift from Japan, but it does celebrate the deep ties between Salem and its Japanese sister city, Kawagoe, which was established in 1986. The gift from Japan is actually over at Willamette University. The 150 cherry trees located on the north of the Capitol Mall were gifted by Tokyo International University in 1992 to honor the university's 150th anniversary.
Interesting. So it was sort of an academic gift from institution to institution.
Exactly.
That's really interesting. You know, growing up in Salem, kind of, for any locals, you might agree with me here, it starts to seem like this city might not have a ton of history, but when you really dig into it, it gets really interesting.
A great place to find some of that history is over at the Willamette Heritage Center on the Mill Street. Also right next to the Amtrak station.
That is a slice out of history. I have spent a lot of years of my childhood in the Heritage Center. Very educational place. I think I got the majority of my local knowledge from there. I recommend anyone looking to teach themselves or teach someone else, a child, a loved one, a friend, about this city's history. I do agree. Willamette Heritage Center is a great hotspot for it.
When our sponsors, the Grand Ron and the Confederated Tribe of the Siletz Indians, they have a very good relationship with the Willamette Heritage Center, and sometimes you will see exhibits from the Grand Ron displayed at the Willamette Heritage Center.
15 minutes left in the first half.
So even though the Foxtails traveled all the way from Fontana, California, almost 1,000 miles away, they are not our furthest traveling team to our tournament weekend here in Salem, Oregon, Petal to the Metal.
And who would be the farthest traveling team?
That would be the Killer Bees from Kalamazoo, Michigan.
Ooh, that is a far ways to go for a tournament. I wonder if they went by plane or did a little road trip cross country.
Probably would be a fun road trip.
It would, very long, but I bet it would be fun. See a lot of unique places along the way.
All right, back to Derby, Jam 11, Jam 12. We've got TK Oda and Betty Bop.
TK Oda coming around the middle of that Foxtails defense, breaking right through, picking up lead for the Blossoms. And was that a little style hop I saw on the lap? Coming back in for a scoring pass, impact with the Foxtails defense. Meanwhile, Betty Bop sliding around on that initial lap. Jam is called off before they can impact the Blossoms defense. 0 points for the Foxtails, 2 for the Blossoms. The Blossoms are playing it very safe this game, going for low point values while staving off the Foxtails from any point gain. I mentioned in the last game, but it's always more optimal to prevent your opponents from gaining any points rather than gaining a large amount of points yourself. Ferris Wheels displaying some impressive lateral spin work, footwork there on his co-stops, picking up lead once again for the Blossoms. Quite an agile skater. That is a call on the Blossoms jammer, sending into the box. Power jam for Tiny Terror of the Foxtails, who has picked up lead as Ferris Wheels was called on the cut before lead was awarded. Tiny Terror clashing with Blossom's defense at the front of the pack as they form a solid defense on that inside line. 2 points scored by the Foxtails, and with Ferris Wheels starting in the box, the Foxtails will begin with a power start. Number 19, the Freak, will be spearheading this power jam effort from the Foxtails. Foxtails assuming what appears to be a offensive position, looking to wrap around that Blossom's wall, and that they do, slicing open that inside lane for the Freak to pick up lead for the Foxtails. Ferris Wheels close in pursuit, almost hiding in the shadow of the Freak, using that path to get through, and some amazing defensive, offensive play from Collateral Damage allows Ferris Wheels to pick up that initial, forcing the Foxtails to call it off. 39-46, 7-point gap. Number 29, TK Oda, jamming for the Blossom. .1005 Bones moving to that outside line, clashing with the Blossoms defense, who are wrapping around, trying to lock down that jammer. Meanwhile, TK Oda picking up leads, slicing through that inside line. TK Oda is a straight shooting jammer, crashing into that defensive alignment and breaking it apart. Moving in a straight path the whole time, like a train. Foxtails jammer, Bones in the box, putting TK Oda in a power jam situation as he picks up 4 points for the Blossom. 54-39, 8 points on the round as Blossoms poised for an offensive play. And Blossom's pivot manages to pry open that inside line, opening the Foxtails defense up for TK Oda to pick up another 4 points. And another scoring pass tries to slide through on that inside line, is hit out by Foxtails pivot and brought to the back of the pack. Another strong offensive attempt from number 508, Midnight Smack. The pivot for the Blossoms has been putting in a lot of overtime. Ferris Wheels lining up as the jammer for the Blossoms. 0-5 Agency jamming for the Foxtails. Both these jammers have shown to be an agile pair, so their speed will be the main rivalry to be seen. Agency trying to take a toe-stop spin on the outside line, gets hit out by Blossom's pivot, 7-9. Ferris Wheels stretching out that Foxtails defense, only fighting 2 more Foxtails blockers. A Blossoms blocker has gone to the box, and Agency takes the opportunity to pick up lead. Another Blossom blocker, the pivot, heading to the box. Ferris Wheels still fighting with that now 3-man Foxtails wall, with the Foxtails pivot being sent to the box. 2 Blossoms blockers and 3 Foxtail on the track as Agency re-enters for another scoring pass. Fighting with non-L rolls there, manages to slide past with another 4 points, calling it off to prevent Ferris from scoring any more. That is 8 points for the Foxtails, 0 for the Blossoms, 47-60. A 13-point gap. Number 210, Chemical X. That's a familiar name. I think we might have had 2 of those today. Chemical X taking that outside line, clashing with that Foxtails defense, getting moved from inside to outside, and that is a cut call on Blossom's jammer, putting the Foxtails in a power jam situation. 1-4-4 pivot for the Foxtails, re-entering the pack. 0-3 collateral damage, rebounding the Freak, drawing them to the back of the pack. And yeah, it was Wasatch, I think, that also has a Chemical X. So interesting parallel there.
The Freak breaking out as lead jammer.
Blossom's defense poising to catch the Freak on this scoring pass. Chemical X inbound, swiping through that defense. No initial pass for the Blossoms. 1 point for the Foxtails. Number 29, TK Oda, lining up for the Blossoms. Betty Bob for the Foxtails, lining up as jammer.
TK Oda jamming for the Blossoms. Nazgul trying to hold back Betty Bop. TK Oda fighting an opening on the outside.
Betty Bop in close pursuits, trying to stave off that point gain. It'll be a close call.
TK Oda with a burst of speed, picking up 2 points, calling the end, 3 points, calling the end of that jam, and Betty Bop picking up 1.
2-3, 49-63. 12-point gap. 14-point gap.
And number 107, Tiny Terror, taking on Ferris Wheels. Both jammers ready to go. Tiny Terror recycled by Madam Gemini.
Ferris Wheels hitting that outside line. Almost falling directly under Foxtails' defense, manages to slide right in between those 2 blockers. Speaking of which, 2 Foxtails blockers have been sent to the box. And an impressive display of balance from Ferris Wheels.
Picking up 4 points and calling jam number 19.
You know, it's an intense jam when Ferris's ponytails are facing directly upward, flying around. Number 29, TK Oda.
We got some alphabet soup there. Agency, TK Oda.
Nice high five shared between jammers. Now the jam is on. Both jammers taking the inside and outside. Diverging into the middle. Dakota is successful. Agent C is drawn to the back of the pack by Risk and Gamble. TK Oda re-entering for the scoring pass. Deflects a hit from a Foxtails blocker.
Miscreant Oliver Twisted trying to hold back Agent C. Agent C finding an opening.
Initial pass for Agent C for the Foxtails and 4 points gained. TK Oda rushing to get a few more points before the jam is over.
Apex jump by Agency into their own blockers.
That jam definitely ended with a smash. Agency jumping over all Blossom's defense to pick up that last 4 points. And TK Oda scrambling to match. And it was successful on both attempts, 4-4.
And we're opening up jam number 21 with Oliver Twisted breaking out as lead jammer.
Oliver Twisted signaling for offensive play there. Gets it from the Blossoms. Picking up 2 points and calling it off before Foxtails are able to score. Ferris Wheels lining up for the Blossoms.
Bruce Wayne with 5 fingers in the air means whistle's coming. 2 minutes on the clock.
Ferris Wheels swiping through that outside line.
Foxtails defense, great at skipping over there and trying to hold back the Blossom jammer.
And an impressive juking display. Ferris Wheels juking around 3 blockers in a row. Almost making it around that last 4th blocker.
And that's 3 points to Ferris Wheels.
TK Oda and Agent C lined up for Blossoms and Foxtails. Moving straight down the middle. Agent C deflected to the inside line, and TK Oda the same, not too far after. TK Oda fighting still on that inside line, pushing the wall to the middle. That's 1 blocker down, 1 straggling. Only 2 more blockers for him to fight.
Collateral damage, recycling Agency.
TK Oda called on a cut call. Power jam situation for Agent C. Down on the outside line.
Midnight smack. With
1 Foxtails blocker to the box. A cap pass that even I can't tell the results of quite yet. A sneaky endeavor. Looks like cap was passed to the pivot. However, the pivot is now given a penalty.
that is good flower.
Blossoms were able to defend the track during their power jam.
Sorry, that was to Bones. Star pass to Bones.
And TK Oda makes it out on the initial pass. It's now a power jam in the Blossom's favor. There will be no lead for the rest of this jam. We will be running the full 35 seconds. TK Oda fighting to maintain control over that inside line. Swipes to the middle and then the out and then back to the middle. Trying to wedge himself into that Foxtails wall and break them apart from the inside.
9-11 Betty Rage trying to hold back TK Oda, along with 144 Penny Rebel, and TK Oda spilled out.
TK Oda managing to take advantage of a no pass, picking up 4 points for the Blossoms. And the jam is called off for time. 0 points for the Foxtails, 53-80. A 27-point gap. Shout out to CJ Crusher doing a great security guard cosplay by the bench of the Blossoms.
Bruce Wayne with 5 fingers in the air, whistle blown. We're into jam number 24. The Freak getting caught up with Risky Gamble. Freak finding an opening out as lead jammer as Midnight Smack joins their teammates on the track.
Ferris Wheels is wasting no time to rebound. 0 on the period 1 clock. This half is officially over after this jam. And that is intermission, folks, with 2 points for the Foxtails, 4 for the Blossoms. Final score for period
Halftime.
1 is 56-84.
All right, as a reminder during our intermission that bathroom priorities, please keep in mind that bathroom space is limited. Give priorities to skaters and officials if you need to use the facilities. We also have a couple of porta potties available on the outside. Now is a great time to stop by our food truck, So Cheesy, for a lovely cheesy snack.
Those who were there last game will have heard my endorsement of the Forget About It grilled cheese. So go out and grab yourself a tasty snack. Coffee shop to the left of So Cheesy is also a great spot to get a afternoon pick-me-up. I recommend the vanilla horchata. We will see you at the start of period 2.
we have 2 minutes until roller derby. Grab a snack from the snack table, find your seat again. We're going to get started here shortly. Our teams are probably lining up for gear check at this moment. If you've been waiting to use the facilities, now's probably a good time because our teams will be doing gear check. To all of our visitors visiting from outside of the Salem area and to our local visitors, we want to thank you for keeping our bleachers clear and clean. We do have some trash receptacles around the madhouse as well as some recycling receptacles. Cherry City Cherry Blossoms is a nonprofit organization, and our cans and bottles that are collected go to support our juniors program, as well as all proceeds from the snack table. That whistle from Bruce Wayne means we're about to start our second period. We've had quite a few facts shared with you about Cherry City Cherry Blossoms here in Salem, Oregon. How about some trivia facts about Fontana, California?
Show us what you got.
So what is Fontana's major economy? Agency is now jamming for Fontana in the first jam along with Ferris Wheels. Agency recycled by 888 Whiskey Gamble.
Ferris Wheels going for that outside line, manages to break past that Foxtails defense, who are now reforming for an offensive attempt on Blossoms. They figure out their placement for the upcoming lap. Ferris Wheels re-entering. Agency still fighting with Blossom's wall. Slightly crumbles as they enter. Midnight Smack holding a pretty solid defense, but Agency has entered initial pass. Ferris Wheels is coming around for another scoring pass. Trails off of a teammate and picks up all 4 points, calling it off before Agency enters that next scoring pass, putting us at 8 points to 0, 56-92. The second half of every game is always a moment for skaters to work through the fatigue that has built up. So it's a half of focus, steady communication, and energy management.
We've got number 19, the Freak from Foxtails, and TK Oda jamming for the Blossoms. TK Oda inching out as lead jammer in jam number 2. On their heels, the Freak. TK Oda calling the end of that jam, playing it safe.
A speedy stalemate for both jammers.
All right, so some quick history about Fontana, California. Fontana, California was founded by Azriel Blanchard Miller. It started off as a rural agricultural center known for chicken ranches and citrus groves. Pick up more on this later as we set up for jam number 3.
Ferris Wheels jamming for the Blossoms. Betty Bob for the Foxtails. Ferris Wheels almost manages to stand on that outside after getting hit by 144 pivot for the Foxtails, but is recycled, re-engages that center pack, and is not going to let himself get hit out this time. using Payback as a buffer to slide past that Foxtails defense, picks up lead for the Blossoms. And Betty Bop on that initial as well, as Ferris Wheel scrambles to pick up those last few points, calls it off with 2 points for the Blossoms, 94-56.
You're enjoying our music right now. Give a big thank you to Bad Things Who Knows Things, our music DJ.
210, Chemical X jamming against 19, The Freak. Chemical X forcing Foxtails defense up the wall. The Freak sliding from inside to outside, whirling around. Blossom's defense picking up lead for the Foxtails. Coming in for another scoring pass as Foxtails open up a small gap with their floater blocker. But Blossom's defense is locking that jammer down. Blossom's defense is swept to the side by Foxtails offense as the Freak picks up 4 points on the first scoring pass of the jam. Payback with a star pass, now jamming for the Blossoms on initial. Trying to wrap this jam up, forces Foxtails to call with 0 points. 4 points for the Foxtails, 0 for the Blossoms, putting them at 60-94. Number 3, Ferris Wheels, and 811 Choso lining up for the Blossoms and Foxtails. .888 Risky Gamble slicing through that Foxtails defense in an offensive play. Opening up the center of the track for Ferris Wheels to pick up lead for the Blossoms. Entering another scoring pass, Ferris Wheels wastes no time spinning around, goes back to Foxtails blockers and completely dodging the rest of them, looking to possibly call off. And that is the call off. 4 points for the Blossoms, 98-60. One more full pass and the Blossoms will have broken 100.
More facts about Fontana, California. During World War II, entrepreneur Henry J. Kaiser built a massive steel mill in the city which drove industrial growth. Fontana is now the logistic behemoth. More on that at our next break. So we've got Tiny Terror and Collateral Damage jamming. Tiny Terror edging out Collateral Damage as lead jammer.
Both jammers close. Jam is called off. That was a first-time jam, I think, from Collateral Damage. Hope to see more of them.
So that Henry J. Kaiser that built that massive steel mill in the city is the Kaiser that founded Kaiser Permanente.
Really? What an interesting connection between cities. Number 3, Ferris Wheels. Number 19, The Freak for the Blossoms and Foxtails, poised up, gaining a little bit of momentum before the jam starts, and they are going to use that directly into the inside line. Both jammers getting deflected, moving to the out. The Freak manages to pick up lead from an offensive play on the Foxtails. Blossoms taking up the back line, looking to catch the Freak before they can score any points. That outside line is covered by Midnight Smack. And a star pass puts Risky Gamble in the jam position on initial pass, trying to force Foxtails to call successfully. 0 points for the Blossoms. 3 points for the Foxtails, 63-98. 23 minutes, almost a third of the way through the half.
Fontana is now a logistical behemoth because of its strategic location at the juncture of Interstate 10, 15, and State Route 210. Fontana is a vital part of our national supply chain, housing massive distribution and manufacturing centers. And Betty Bop jamming for the Foxtails.
Oliver Twisted making it out with the lead, bridging out that Foxtails defense until they cannot keep blocking at risk of out of bounds. Coming in for another scoring pass. Dodging past 3 of the Foxtails blockers, engaging with that 4th pivot and fighting their way through.
Oliver Twisted straight through. Tiny Terror there. Sorry.
And that is 4 points, putting the Blossoms above 100. That is 102 points for the Blossoms. 1 blocker from the Blossoms heading to the box. Oliver Twisted as well heading to the box, putting the Foxtails in a power jam. Chemical X putting up an impressive defensive display. Not enough blockers, though, to hold back Betty Bop.
Chemical X and Payback trying to hold back Betty Bop. Betty Bop went an assist there by 107 Tiny Terror.
A heavy hit from Chemical X. Our medics are currently assessing the situation and providing appropriate aid for the skater. There will be a short break in the game. Right, and our skater is back up on their feet.
A big thank you to our volunteer medics.
The true heroes of the Madhouse, keeping our skaters rolling through the best and worst times. Foxtails will be resuming against a 3-blocker Blossoms wall in a power start situation.
All right, we've got an official review. This is a Blossom official review at this time. While the official review is going on, I'm going to finish up some fun facts about Fontana, California. Fontana has a highly diverse population exceeding 220,000 people, 68% who identify as Hispanic or Latino. Fontana is also the home of the fastest half marathon and 5K. They're famously known as the fastest half marathon course in the world due to its sustained downgrade. You know what I love about Salem is we now host an Ironman.
I've seen that in the past few years. I've always been impressed by the effort I see. You'll see them running usually on some of the roadways when the event's going on, and I mean you can tell it is a gauntlet of a sport. Only the best of the best.
Other fun facts about Salem, Oregon. If you've never been here before, take a look at our state capitol and the Golden Man. Oregon State Capitol's dome is topped by the Oregon Pioneer, a 23-foot statue. Locals affectionately call him the Golden Man because he is covered in real gold leaf. Don't touch him.
I heard something about how there either is or used to be a regulation that said no building could be higher than the Golden Man or block people's vision of it.
Well, it's until somebody actually cites me the statute or the city ordinance, it's only a legend.
I would not be surprised if it was simply a rumor. But there's at least a little bit of truth in the fact that you can see it from most places in downtown.
A couple of other fun facts. Salem produces a lot of wonderful things you might find in your grocery store, such as kettle chips, dank sauce, flavor pack frozen vegetables and fruit from the Oregon cannery.
Lots of tasty items there. I'm looking it up now, and it looks like there was actually a small local myth-busting effort done to debunk this, but it was a popular rumor going around a few years ago.
Also, if anybody likes soy sauce, Yamasa Soy Factory is here in Salem, Oregon, thanks to our wonderful water that we source from the Santiam River.
I actually have heard of that one. It's one of the big industrial claims in the food industry that Oregon has.
Salem does have wonderful water. You can drink the water straight out of the tap. Don't drink it here. The water here comes from a well. It's probably fine for you. City water is wonderful.
The cherry blossoms, it seems, are attempting to bestow a failure to reform call on the Foxtails. The call they suspect should have been called during the last jam, as skaters failed to group up with the pack in accordance to the playbook, and the claim will be successful. The Blossoms will bestow a penalty to a Foxtails blocker. Pack dynamics are some of the most complicated rulings in Derby. They work on a system that measures the distance between blockers with bigger gaps to a certain degree, causing a pack disruption, which must be immediately amended, or the skaters who caused the disruption will be penalized. And that is what a failure to reform is. It's a failure, literally, to reform the pack.
And that whistle from Bruce Wayne means that Derby's about to start again with a power start from Foxtails, the Freak.
The Freak speeding into the Blossoms, managing to shimmy around on that inside line, breaking through the small gap in the Blossoms' defense. We are still in that power start situation, but, well, not anymore. As Oliver Twisted re-enters the pack, blasting through Foxtails' defense. Some heavy, heavy hits against that last Foxtails blocker, but Oliver Twisted is brought to the outside, nearly hit out, but manages to stay inside, picking up initial pass for the Blossoms. All Blossom and Foxtails blockers have been returned to the track, and the jam is called off by Foxtails Jammer. Picking up 3 points, 0 for the Blossoms.
And jamming for the Blossoms, we have number 508, Midnight Smack. And for Foxtails, we've got 005 Bones.
Jam is on.
Midnight Smack catching the hip of Choso. Looking for a way around Choso. Midnight Smack on the outside, your lead jammer.
That was a patient and observant play for Midnight Smack, using the position of the Blossoms and the Foxtails to their advantage. Coming around for another scoring pass, cutting right through that Foxtails defense. Bones close in pursuit.
Speed is everything. Midnight Smack avoiding being pushed out by 369 Chatter thanks to the speed on her skates.
And both jammers still neck and neck, re-entering the pack. And the jam is called by Midnight Smack. 0 points to the Foxtails. 4 for the Blossoms. Ferris Wheels jamming for the Blossoms. And 107 Tiny Terror jamming for the Foxtails. Ferris Wheels gunning for that outside lane. Foxtails trying to save him off. He is not hit out, but he does transition to the middle of the pack fighting. Tiny Terror uses the commotion pickup lead for the Foxtails.
And we have a star pass over to 888 Risky Gamble.
And that is the jam. 4 points for the Foxtails.
Well, fun fact about your announcers today, I am Smachiavelli, and sitting next to me is Break Check. I've known Break Check since, for how long, Break Check?
In Derby since 2019, though otherwise I don't think I have a solid number.
Well, I don't know how old Break Check is, but I've known Break Check since he was a toddler.
Actually, I am turning 20 tomorrow.
All right, so that's probably about 16 years. Break Check is having a birthday tomorrow. We're gonna have to sing happy birthday before the end of this bout. This is Break Check's last bout he's announcing for today.
TKO reforming at the back of the pack, brought back by 144 pivot on the Foxtails. The Freak picking up that lead for the Foxtails. One blocker from the Blossoms going to the box. TKO engaging with Foxtails defense. A cat pass to Payback, putting them as the jammer. Initial pass for the Blossoms. Freak re-entering the pack on the scoring pass, sliding past the outside line, picking up 4 points for the Foxtails. The point gap is slowly closing this game. Currently now at 86 to 113. The jam is not called off though. Payback is still going.
Payback shut up from returning the favor. Freak's got her super freak on, picking up 12 points in that jam. Payback picking up 7.
That is 90 to 116. A 26-point gap. Number 05, Agent C lining up for the Foxtails.
Timeout Blossoms. All right, anybody else got a birthday today? Or tomorrow? Oh, yesterday was Catman's birthday. All right, we've got 2 birthdays up here on the announcers block. Catman to my right, making sure all of our fans at home are able to enjoy Pedal to the Metal. And to my right, Break Check, both of whom are turning 20 tomorrow.
Quite excited to exit my teenage years promptly.
All right, no more teenage years for Break Check, and Catman is 20 plus years old.
Ferris wheels jamming for the Blossoms. 05 agency jamming for the Foxtails. Ferris wheels ducking to that outside line, swerving, juking to the in, hitting that middle, trying not to get shoved to the outside by Foxtails pivot, swooping around that back blocker and dashing to make up that ground, fighting with that last pivot, trying to avoid getting out while still fighting for those lines.
Girl Plower trying to hold back Ferris wheels, joined by Choso.
Good eyes on Ferris wheels to recognize his ability to step back in after getting hit out. An initial for Ferris wheels. And that jam is called off. 0-0.
Got a 26-point game here. Still anyone's game with 15 minutes left on the clock.
Oh, 26 points, 13 points a jam. That's just that's a really good jam, but it's totally possible. In fact, I've seen, I can't remember the record from Junior Derby, but it's above 35. I know that.
Yep, yesterday we had, it was Nono Rolls pulling down 30 points in one jam.
Quite an impressive jam. TK Oda picking up lead for the Blossoms, coming back in. Coordinated offensive attempts from the Blossoms. Holding a Goats, one of the Foxtails blockers, behind to affect pack distinction.
1-0-0-1, Girl Plower back on the track, joining their teammates. Tiny Terror flying ahead there, recycled by Collateral Damage. Got a little pile up there with TK Oda and 911. Betty Rage. TK Oda sent to the penalty box.
Tiny Terror trying to find a small gap to squeeze through on either of those inside or outside lines. Now that we are in a power jam situation, Foxtails can provide offensive plays. Midnight Smack trying a little Hail Mary play there to try and throw off Tiny Terror at the last minute. Unfortunately, did not have enough range. Tiny Terror re-entering.
Tiny Terror recycled by Chemical X number 210. And Tiny Terror recycled by 508 Midnight Smack. TK Oda joining their teammates back on track. TK Oda with a dive there.
Three seconds left in the jam.
TK Oda taking a hit to the ribs and standing right back up.
And that is the jam. 16 points scored to 4. Now, I did have someone provide the details. The Guinness World Record for the most points scored in a single power jam is 50. It was set by Megan Lazorski, otherwise known as Slim Skady, skating for FOCO.
And we are back into an official timeout.
Number 19, the Freak, taking a moment of rest and relaxation there on the track.
right, so cherry blossom season is over. Tulip season has ended. We've got a beautiful tulip fields, Wooden Shoe Tulip Farm up in Woodburn, Oregon, here in Marion County. The Shriners Iris Festival is coming to an end. This is a great weekend if you have time to go visit Adelman's Peony Gardens. Marion County, Oregon, a wonderful place for agriculture, horticulture. Marion County is also known for producing cherries and blueberries, peaches, all types of wonderful fruit. Not to mention, just south of us in Lynn County, the grass seed capital of the world, providing grass seed for turfs, Major League football, soccer, golf courses, and not for roller derby because we do not skate on grass.
I've tried. It's impossible, but it was worth a shot. You can kind of spike your toe stops into the grass though and gallop. So I just learned that when that Guinness World Record of 50 points was set, it was a long time ago, back when jammers got a 5th point for passing other jammers. So still a very impressive feat, just a neat detail about the time.
I'm sure no one needs a reminder that tomorrow is Memorial Day.
Do you have any fun Memorial Day plans?
Not that I want to share.
Fair enough. I know a lot of people that I know are doing some trips. Some are going camping. Some are going out to the lake, doing a little bit of an outdoorsy day. Just a general relaxation event for them.
Memorial Day weekend, we're doing Pedal to the Metal Friday to Sunday. Monday, it's a time to show some respect, for our service members who have passed. All of us are here today thanks to the sacrifices that our veterans who have gone before have given to our country. Nope, that's not Bruce Wayne asking for cap sleeves. That's Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne indicating that we are still in an official timeout. Going on 7 minutes. During this time, we want to, again, thank our skating and non-skating officials. Our head official for this bout is Flip. With Flip, Dr. Boom, Speed Racer, Romp, Skirt Cobain, Pinky, Q, Big Eye Bry, Punky Bruiser, Arson Crafts, Wamdolf, Rolla Crayola, Slade Marion, Titan, Uni, and Unholy Roller. Forgot to mention one more, Radar. Can't forget Radar. All right, 5 seconds till we pick up jam number 15. Jam number 16. Excuse me. I misspoke. Ferris wheels breaking out of the blocking of 1-6 Betty Bop.
And an impressive bean dip throws one of the Foxtails blockers out of bounds until Ferris is forced out of bounds himself. Recycled to the back of the pack. Foxtails jammer coming in when the jam is called off. 94 to 142. 136. $1,005. Bones lined up for the Foxtails. And 0-3 collateral damage jamming for the Blossoms. Lateral damage running down that inside line, engaging, getting pushed to the outside by Foxtails. Defense forcing through that midway, bridging out. Foxtails were holding a solid defense, trying to force it out of bounds on that inside line, but he will not be thrown out. Ooh. And collateral damage makes it through with a tiny gap on that inside line, picking up lead for the Blossoms. Coming around for a scoring pass with Bones on the initial. And the jam is called. 3 points to the Blossoms, scored by collateral damage. Number 3, Ferris Wheels, back on the track for the Blossoms. And number 1619, the Freak.
Number 16, Betty Bop, jamming for Foxtails. Ferris Wheels breaking out as lead jammer.
Betty Bop close behind in a fast pursuit. Both jammers neck and neck. Some of the most agile jammers we've seen this game. Enter the pack. Ferris Wheels slips around that last blocker, picking up 1 point before calling it off. Evening the score out to 140 to 94. Now we got number 19, the Freak, jamming against
Midnight Smack.
number 508. Seeing an interesting split wall strategy from the Foxtails. 2 locked up while 2 blockers float in the top. The Freak making a fast blitz to the top of the pack and crashing past Blossom's defense with the help of those 2 floating blockers. While
Penny
the other
Rebel
2,
not giving any inch to Midnight Smack.
it is a tough wall out there. These Foxtails blockers are locking the track down. Midnight Smack hit out on the outside, but not before passing the cap to Payback. Gets an initial pass, forcing Foxtails to call off the jam. 144 to Blossoms.
Payback back at you with 4 points.
Never mind, 4 points were accidentally awarded to the Blossoms. It is 4 points to the Foxtails, putting them at 98.
Correction,
to
thank you. All right, Agency, Ferris wheels. Agency on the outside.
Agent C in the rapid lead, coming back around for the scoring pass. Coordinating with Foxtails blockers for a swift and decisive hit out at the last minute by Risky Gamble.
And that is why the front row is reserved for 18 and over. Those sitting on the red line on the bleachers. You are in the danger zone.
I said it at Friday. Attending this event on the front row is accepting that there might be a flying teenager.
And Foxtails now in triple digits with 101, Blossoms 141. Still anyone's game with 8 minutes left on the clock.
Collateral damage shoving past that second to last Foxtails, circling around that Foxtails pivots, picking up lead for the Blossoms, coming in with some tremendous speed, eyeing which route they're going to take. Goes for the outside line, shoves past one Foxtails blocker and engages in the middle of the track, pushing the Foxtails defense up the track. Pack definition error. And the jam is called off with 4 points scored for the Blossoms, 101 to 145, a 44-point gap. And even with 7 minutes on the clock, 44 points technically is feasible. Ferris wheels ping-ponging through the Foxtails defense, bouncing off of them, using that speed to pick up lead, coming back into a scoring pass. Some strong O from Risky Gamble opens it right up for Ferris wheels to pick up another 4 points, looking to call it off right before Agent C takes an albeit very impressive jump that unfortunately scores no points. 0 for the Foxtails, 4 for the Blossoms. 101 to 149, 48-point gap. Number 729, Oliver Twisted, jamming for the Blossoms. Number 19, The Freak, jamming for the Foxtails. Seeing Blossom's wall layer themselves over Foxtails here, allowing them to catch the Freak as they dance around their own wall.
Freak trying to get around Madam Gemini, Jules Byrne, and Midnight Smack. The Freak breaking out as the lead jammer, and jam number 23.
Oliver Twisted was able to re-enter after the pivot that hit them out. It was sent to the box and is now on initial pass, following the Freak, who has now scored 4 additional points for the Foxtails, putting them at 105.
Oliver Twisted retaining the jammer star for Blossoms.
Oliver Twisted coming around, getting knocked out by 1001 on that outside line, and they are skating back to the action. Sliding through that inside line, engaging with Foxtails defense, breaking them apart, almost getting hit on that outside, managing to stay in, fighting with that last
Plower
blocker.
holding back Oliver Twisted. Oliver Twisted pushing Girl Plower back.
And the pack is bridged out. Girl Flower must surrender position to Oliver Twisted, giving another 4 points to the Blossoms. Five minutes left on the last half.
All right, so our medics are addressing the issue on the track and providing our skater with appropriate care.
This was an injury call-off. The Blossoms, no, the Foxtails, having held lead, will have the option to continue from the last jam, from the point that it ended, or start a fresh new jam. Choosing to continue from the last jam would mean they start on the jammer line with however much time was left on the clock, with lead already established. Never mind. That rule actually only comes into play if a skater from the opposite team is injured. So, little derby trivia. If a skater from the opposite team is injured, then the team with lead may choose whether to choose from the options I mentioned before. But if a team with lead has one of their own skaters injured, it does not work that way. All right, and it looks like our medics are escorting the skater back to the medic bench, back to their own bench. Let's give another round of applause to our wonderful medics and officials. Fantastic job keeping our skaters healthy.
We have a lot of parents in the bleachers. Let's hear it for the parents that are present supporting Foxtails. All the way up from Fontana, California.
And let's also hear some noise for some parents supporting the Blossoms. Anyone who's here for the Blossoms? Looks like we got an exclusive cheering section right over here in the corner.
Also looks like Mob City parents are here as well, getting ready for the next game. We want to thank all parents of our skaters, both present and non-present. Those of you watching online, your support of your skater makes this event possible.
Visual review for the Foxtails. All right, due to a scheduling conflict, I'm going to have to step out early. My co-announcer will take over the rest of the show. My name is Break Check, and I've had a great time announcing for this tournament. Thank you all for coming and supporting this event, and I will see you all in the next event hosted at the Madhouse. Have a good day.
As Break Check leaves the Madhouse, he is no longer going to be a teenager when he comes back next time. He's going to be a 20-year-old. Let's all sing happy birthday to Break Check. Join me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Thank you all.
Drive safely. All right, and a big shout out to the Fontana coaches donning their Fox suits. I don't know how they're doing that in this heat. Your Foxtail coaches are Miss Craven, Mr. Justin, and Wreck-It Ref. Our Blossoms coaches this afternoon, CJ Crusher, Mini Mart, and Little Trouble. We can't have good derby without good coaches. This close score, a testament to their leadership and coaching. It takes a lot to keep young people excited and peppy and happy about being engaged in this wonderful sport. We're coming up on the 5 o'clock hour. If your tummy is feeling a little hungry, all right, Foxtail was looking for a forearm call on that last jam. Will not be granted, and they will not retain whatever that is. Somebody knows what that means. Foxtail is looking for a forearm call, and the officials are declining that request. We are now in an official review for the Blossoms. All right, some trivia about this day. Today is May 24th. On this day in 1883, the Brooklyn Bridge was opened by President Chester A. Arthur and New York Governor Grover Cleveland. All right, and in that official review, Blossoms was looking for a multiplayer call. That call is, multiplayer call is declined, and they will not retain their official review. All right, we're going to get back to Derby. Got an agency jamming for the Foxtails. Ferris wheels out for the Blossoms. Agency breaking out as your lead jammer. On their heels, Ferris wheels. Agency calling that jam. Less than 5 minutes left on the clock. Every point counts. Jamming for the Blossoms, we've got 210 Chemical X and Agency 05 back up for the Foxtails. Agency has not yet quite had enough. Agency juking to the outside, being pushed out by number 13. Number 13 being assisted there off the track. Chemical X out as lead jammer. Power Jam Blossoms as Agency has been sent to the penalty box. Chemical X catching some shoulders there from 101 Girl Plower. Girl Plower living up to their name. Choso to 119 does not want to be left out. 144 Penny Rebel also trying to hold back Chemical X. Chemical X looking to plow through that blocker tripod. Chemical X recycled by Choso. Agency back on the track. Chemical X calling the end of that jam. We've got 3 minutes left in this fourth game on our third day of Pedal to the Metal here in Salem, Oregon. We've got number 1005 Bones jamming for Foxtails, starting the backside Ferris wheels. Bones looking to juke straight into Risky Gamble. Bones finding an opening on the outside. Star pass over to Risky Gamble by Ferris wheels. Bones calling the end of that jam after picking up 3 points. Foxtails, 111, Blossoms 157. We've got 729 Oliver Twisted. Trying to start a dance party on the track. 16 Betty Bop jamming for Foxtails. Oliver Twisted finding an opening on the inside. Right past 144. Penny Rebel. Oliver Twisted being held back by a tripod, centered by Agency. Betty Bop breaking out of that opening for an initial pass. Oliver Twisted sees that, waste no time calling the end of jam number 27. We've got less than 1 minute on the clock. Ferris having fun on the track. Bones 1005 jamming for Foxtail. Ferris straight into the shoulder of 911. Betty Rage. Girl Plower trying to hold back Ferris. Ferris breaking out as lead jammer. 1.5 minutes left in jam number 28. And Ferris calls the end of jam number 27. Your unofficial score, 111-164. Let's hear it for our skaters from Foxtails, all the way up from Fontana, California. And let's hear it for the Cherry City Cherry Blossoms, your home team, Salem, Oregon. You're all welcome to come down. There's our final score. Foxtails 111. Cherry Blossoms 164. We are running behind schedule. Let's hear it for the Foxtails. We are running behind schedules. We will not be doing awards or photos.